In the third parak of Pirkei Avos, in the second to last Mishnah, long Mishnah, not so much to add on it, but it's an important idea. The Mishnah says, Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah Omer. Eliezer ben Azariah says, Imein Torah ein derech eretz. If there is no Torah, then there's no derech eretz. Derech eretz is typically translated as proper behavior, just the way that a person acts properly, conduct, manners. If there's no Torah, if a person doesn't learn Torah, he's not gonna truly be able to really have 100% perfection in terms of his etiquette. Iman derech in Torah. And similarly, if you don't have proper manners, there's no Torah. What's the point of learning Torah if you're not gonna apply that which you're learning? Rashi, interestingly enough, learns this Mishnah differently. He learns this like what we discussed in the beginning of the second parak, the second Mishnah. Yofa Talmud Torim Derech Eretz. Derech Eretz over here could be referring to work. The Torah should be accompanied with work. So the Mishnah would read like this according to Rashi. If a person doesn't learn Torah, he doesn't have work. And if a person doesn't have work, then he doesn't have Torah. In other words, if a person doesn't have Torah, like what's the point of working? What are you working for? And if a person doesn't work, he doesn't have Torah. Because how's he going to be able to afford anything in life? Which is going to come up in the continuation of the Mishnah as well. Rabbi Yonah learns according to the first way that we just said, though. And he says, "Ki roiv hamidos hatoivos shebedarchei olam b'torahim." Most characteristic traits are actually in the Torah itself. Then the Rabbi Yonah says, if you don't have derech eretz, you don't have Torah. Shesarach til l'sakein atzma b'midos. First, you have to perfect yourself in terms of your characteristics, and then the Torah could dwell within you. Because the Torah does not dwell within a body that doesn't have good characteristic traits, good midos. You can't just learn Torah and then have good characteristic traits. That's impossible. It's like a Nas of an Ishma situation. You have to do before you even listen. The Mishnah continues, Imein Yiras Chaytin Chachma. Imein Chachma, excuse me, in Yira. Imein Yira in Chachma. If you don't have wisdom, you don't have proper fear of Hashem. And vice versa. If you don't have fear of Hashem, then you don't have wisdom. Imein Bina in Das, Imein Das in Bina. If you don't have understanding, then you don't have knowledge, and vice versa. What is Bina? Bina Rashi explains, you could understand one thing from another. You could understand something. Like the Gemara Chagiga Yudalad, Mevin Davar Mitoch Davar. Mishnah continues, Imen Kemach in Torah, Imen Torah Kemach. If you don't have flour, you don't have Torah, and vice versa. If you don't have Torah, you don't have Kemach. A lot of times you hear people will quote over there and they'll say, Imen Kemach in Torah. If you don't work, if you don't put flour, you don't have food to eat, you don't have Torah. What they don't know is the rest of this Mishnah. Imen Torah and Kemach. If you don't have any Torah, then you don't have any Kemach also. In other words, a person could have tens of millions of dollars. What's it worth if he doesn't learn Torah? I once heard two older people talking in the parking lot of a shul, and one said to the other, "How's retirement?" He says, "It stinks. It's only good if you like learning Torah. So what are you going to do all day? Eventually, you're going to get bored." Anyways, what to discuss on that in and of itself? It's another discussion, but that's what it means. Imen kemach ein Torah, as Rashi explains. Imen lo ma yochel. If you don't have what to eat, how are you going to learn Torah? You won't be able to. That's Rabbi Yonah also elaborates on that. Who I am, he would say, Kol shechem also imeruba ma'asav. Whoever's wisdom is greater than his actions, Lamahu doma, to what is he compared to? Lilan shanafa merubim v'shorashim moatim. He's compared to a tree that has a lot of roots, a lot of, excuse me, branches, but few roots. What's going to happen? Va'ruach ba ve'okraso v'haif chaso upon. If the wind will come and uproot that tree and turn it over on its face. Remember, as the pasuk says, v'hayar ka'ar. It's like a lone tree, Barov in the desert. Lo yuraki avotov, and you're not going to see that the good is going to come. B'shachin chareidim, and it's going to dwell on parched soil. The midbar in the desert, erech malecha v'lo teshiv, a land that is salty and it won't be inhabited. But whoever has actions that are more than his wisdom, what does he compare it to? If your actions are more than your wisdom, that's a great thing. You're compared to Leland Shanafim Watim Vishwashim Merubim, a tree that has few branches and a lot of roots. Shafilu Kol Rucha Shabolam Baos V'Noshavaspo, even if all of the winds in the world come and blow, in Masizin Osam Makom, and they're not going to move from its place. Shema the Pasuk says, V'Yakei Shasul Alamayim V'Al Yuval Yeshalech Shawashav Lo Yira Ki Yavocham. It's like a tree that is planted on the water, and you have a stream by it that will spread and go with its roots, and you're not going to see when the heat comes. V'Haya Alehu, and its leaves, foliage, Ra'anan, they are fresh. Ubishnas Besoris Lo Yidig, on years of drought, you don't need to worry. Lo Yamish Ma'asois Peri, and you don't need to cease from yielding the fruit as well. That's the whole Mishnah. The message of the day. Few important lessons from this Mishnah to apply in the next one. In the last Mishnah of this parak.